Hello, everyone. I'm Jean-Claude at BeyondMystic, and welcome to this deep woo-woo episode entitled Intuitive Healing with May Levy. You can find her work, of course, at deepintuitivehealing.com and also on her Instagram at LightScribeArt. Let's give her a big, warm welcome back to the show. May, come on, Batsu. How are you?
Good. Nice to be here. Hello, everybody. Hi. Feels really good to be back.
Feels good to have you. I'm so excited to have you back. And of course, I see you have a little microphone there, and you sound a little bit better than you usually do. So that's really good news. Thank you so much for that, for upping your game, so to speak, here. And of course, a lot of what you do is audio driven. So for the audience, I'm sure they're going to appreciate the fact that we're putting extra effort here to send this broadcast at a higher frequency than we normally can. So thank you so much, Mary.
Yay.
And thank you so much, everyone, for joining us here on this live interactive show. We do have a live meditation activation in mind for this evening as well. We're going to probably tag that on closer towards the end of the show. But before we start, we have a couple of topics that May and I want to share with you guys tonight, which are relevant to everything going on the planet right now and the need for human consciousness to rise to the next level. And there's a couple of distortions out there that we can talk about and help the audience deal with right now. But before we do that, May, I've got so many emails of people asking me, where can I buy her clothes? So do you have an
Oh,
update on your clothesline? What's going on with that?
the update is I've been working really, really hard to make it ready on time today, and it's just not the case. It's taking a lot more than I thought. I believe that it will be perfectly out there in 2 weeks, hopefully 1 week. But if you want also the t-shirts and also the yoga pants and also the yoga t-shirts and also the kimonos, it's just going to take a little bit more time. I don't want to put it out there with only partial, clotheslines. So it's going to take a little more time, a little more patience, and it'll be so worth it. They're turning out so nice. I'm so excited about it. Yeah, every time I make a t-shirt out of one of my arts, I'm like, wow, it's so cool. I want to wear
My
it.
gut feeling is this stuff is going to fly off the chart as soon as you're ready. Just judging by the emails I'm getting about this, it's going to be absolutely fabulous, May. On another piece of maybe updates, how is it going with the bookings? I know that a lot of our audience members, since our first episode, have book readings from you. How is that going along? And what are you learning as you are also not only a teacher and a healer, but you're also a student when you're working with people? So how is that relationship going from you? And what can you share with the audience here today?
I've learned that it takes a village. I think for me, what I've learned, I do a lot of my work in my business, and ever since I've been doing things on my own, I've been doing it always alone. And I think that the demand has really challenged me, and I finally hired a sweet, sweet woman called Leanne that she used to work with me in the past, and it's been great to work with her again. And she's been on board, and I'm sure some of you that are listening have already talked to her, and she's adorable and sweet and really on point. So there's that. She's helping me. And it's, when someone reaches out to me and wants a session, the way that goes is I have to channel for them, and I get a scan of what's going on in their chakras. I'll get a description of what's going on in their front chakra, back chakra, where they have blocks, and then exactly how many sessions it will take to release them. So sometimes one person wants one session, but then I have to book 7, and they're not prepared for that, but that's what the delivery, the channel, the message comes through. And so then I have to find time for them, to finish it, like in a week in between. And sometimes that's been really challenging and difficult for me. So I'm learning as we go, all together as a collective family, a deep intuitive family.
Right.
Yeah, and I think we're getting better. I think I'm getting there now that Leanne is part of the family. It's getting easier, a lot more easier for me. And also navigating, I'm learning that in the beginning I was like, okay, I'm gonna do 3 sessions a day. And then quickly I've learned that I'm gonna burn out really quickly if I do that. So now I toned it down to like 2 sessions a day. Every session is 2 hours, and then I have to sit down and clear my energy before and after the session. And after 3, I just found myself getting exhausted and wanting to sleep. So and not having time to do the other things that I'm wanting to do. So I'm learning together what what May's energy is capable of. And I'm sure that the more I do this and the more I get in the hang of it, of doing many, many sessions, the more light, the more energy I'll have. But it's gonna time is everything. Timing is everything.
Well, I
Yeah.
love your honesty and your candor and sharing your personal moments and your struggles also, because we're all struggling. We're all stepping up into these new roles in this new earth that we want to create. And you're one shining example of exactly that. And it's nice to see that you're working so hard at it and you're being honest about the process. And I'm sure a lot of people can just really relate to you as you're saying that. So thank you so much, May, for saying that. And folks, if you guys are in the chat and you've had already a reading with May, let us know how it went. I'm curious. I've had a few emails from you guys already telling me, but of course I can't read those out loud without your permission. So thank you for those of you who did send me emails to say that May was absolutely amazing. But let us know in the chat and let people know what you think of this healing session and this modality. And actually, before we start the show here, there's quite a few new subscribers since you and I started this series here, May. So maybe explain to the new audience member what this healing modality of yours looks like. So when you're into a session, what can people expect really, and how different are you? I know you're different, but how different is it compared to maybe other modalities that people are used to, like the typical Reiki session? So explain a little bit here your modality.
I think that Reiki, I've never studied it. I've never actually learned and never really took any kind of course besides theta healing. Theta healing is something that I actually went to learn, but as far as like the intuitive abilities that I have, it's something that just comes through. And I think that it is upgraded. I think that Reiki might be a little bit, don't quote me on this because I'm not sure because I haven't learned it, but I think it is maybe an old modality, and then our light, the light that is coming through, is being more advanced and more technology is coming through our voice, through toning, through just we're getting more tools to use. And with me, when I do a session, I have the ability through automatic writing. Like what will happen is I will, if, let's say I'm doing a session on Jean-Claude, I'll sit down and I'll ask, how can I assist this person? And it's really the question, how can I assist? What am I able to do with this person? What are my abilities? And then I will get a scan of the energy body, because that's like a medical scan that I get, and I will get information about the chakras, front and back, left and right, what is blocked, how many sessions a person will need to actually release it, if there's entities, if the entities are aware of themselves, not aware of themselves, if they are there to attack the person. I'll get information on all those things and also know if I'm able to help that person or not. And if I can't, if there's too much energy that I can't handle, then I'd probably kindly decline. And sometimes, normally, most of the cases, I'm able to work on it. But the scan is mostly for me and the person to understand what's going to be happening in the session, because once I'm in there, it's light language. It's not a language that I can really, that we're not speaking English most of the time.
Right.
Um, yeah, and so when I get into the session, now that I'm doing mostly Zoom sessions, they're pretty much the same. Just when somebody's in person, I also do pressure points. What I'm learning is that I'm sitting in front of the person and my body becomes them. Like the energy body syncs with them, and I'll be scanning my body. I'll be working on my body as if it is theirs, and I feel different things that they feel in their body. If there is pain in the back, pain in the shoulders, pain in the hips, if they have pain in the body, I'll feel it. If they have stuck emotions in their body that they think, sometimes people think they've already processed it, but sometimes I can tap into their field and feel grief, anger, pain, and that would be probably some unresolved emotions in their subconscious mind. And then I would go in there and I would release it and disconnect cords if I need to and do stuff like that. Also through theta, sometimes I use theta healing through the modality of theta in my intuitive sessions. Not all the time, but sometimes. And then the light language. So when I start working on someone, I start scanning the chakras, the meridians, and then light language starts to come through. Light language is a soul language, it's a coded language that comes from the higher realms that just is channeled through me. It acts as a purifier. It purifies the body from density, from blocks. It can also help purify entities, dense energy in the body, and I release it through hissing, burping, or sometimes laughter. When there's a high dense of energy, it comes out of my vessel with laughter. It's an interesting process, but it comes out of me. That's why it takes sometimes a lot of energy for me to do these sessions. And after the energy is clear, there's a lot of toning that's happening and bringing light into the body and mending the cells and the energy field. And if I feel like there's a need to go deeper into like womb work or generational work or clearing DNA, all that is included in the sessions as well, but it's all intuitive, and it's unless somebody asks me specifically to do it, and then we'll look into that. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, and I read crystals. I work with Lemurian crystals that have codes in them, and I know how to read them. It's really a fascinating thing that's happening.
Wow,
When
that's amazing.
I had this woman. Can I share a story? This I think it was this week or last week. I don't remember.
Sure.
But there was this woman. She didn't tell me. She came for it was her birthday, and I scanned her, and I scanned a few things that she needed to release. And in the session, I start putting all the crystals on my arm. I've never done that before. I have like 7 of them, and I start laying them on my hand, on my left hand. And in the session, I'm asking her, "Is there something going on with your left hand?" And she goes, "Yeah, I'm supposed to go through surgery." I'm like, wow, that's fascinating because she didn't tell me anything, and I start working on her arm for about 30 minutes with the crystals, and it's interesting that I picked it up in during the session with the crystals, and I started moving the crystals like the way I read them. It's not like you would think like reading with your eyes like you would read a book, but knowing when to move them, where to move them, using my hands to tone underneath while I have crystals above. It's just fascinating for me
Wow.
even. I'm just like, and she was fascinated because she didn't tell me anything about her hand.
Wow. That's
Yeah.
fascinating. It is fascinating. Wow. Thank you for sharing that. And maybe one last question on that before we get into our topics for tonight. What are you seeing right now as a recurring pattern, maybe from the guests who are reaching out to you for sessions? What seems to be, or is there a pattern to what is ailing them right now, or what type of healing they're requiring from you?
Mostly intuitive healing. Everybody's coming with, like, most people are asking for intuitive healing. And I keep hearing people saying they have a fog, like they're foggy, they're not clear. They're not clear in their life. They don't really know how to bring their manifestations, what they want for themselves forward. And most people have been saying that they're not clear. And I wonder why that is. I don't know if it's 5G or whatever. I don't really don't know if it's the I know a lot of people that had COVID have a fog. They seem to have a lot of like non-clarity afterwards. So mostly that. But a lot of the times I find that the people that do have that feeling of fogginess have an entity in their body, and then when I release it, I a lot of the times when I work with them, I hear that they are feeling better, clearer, and they're getting better faster. Yeah, so it's been
Wow.
a
That's
journey. Yeah.
fascinating. Okay. Well, thank you for that. And Mara R on the site here says, yes, mine is booked. Okay, so congratulations for that. And do let us know, Mara, after your
Looking
healing
forward to
session.
meeting you.
Absolutely. Jenny says, hi, May. I love your energy. And Ocean Odell says, May, Levy is such a talented artist. May is so creative and passionate with her art. Yes, and we're going to see that later on here with the one that we're using this evening for this particular activation tonight. So thank you so much, everyone, for all of those amazing comments. Let's see if we're going to see anything else here before I go. Yeah, Mara says, yay. Okay, very good. Now, let's start here. In the list of topics you sent me tonight, May, the first one was the twin flame. And so there's a lot of hoopla around this subject for many years now in this community. And we're finding out that sometimes things are not always as they seem when it comes to that nomenclature. So let's maybe start there. Explain to the audience what you mean by twin flame and why right now you're being guided, especially in the meditation here, just in the pre-show, to share this information with the audience.
Well, I want to actually share my past of why Twin Flames was such a big deal in my life and how much information I received from that and what I know today from my own journey. And I think it's important to talk about because there is a lot of hoopla, there is a lot of confusion, and I was there. I was deep in that, trying to understand what was happening to me. So rewinding back to when I had my Kundalini awakening, and I talked about this in my first show, there was a person in my life that we were on and off together. I was madly in love with him, and he did something that really hurt me. We went our own ways, and after 2 months, I had a Kundalini awakening. after a few months later, I went to Florida to do a show with my art, and I met this woman. I went to this dance, and I went to in this dance. I met this intuitive and DNA healer. This is what I first time I've heard that, and she was the first woman that I heard speak light language. And we sat in a circle. Everybody introduced themselves, and she was channeling light language, and it's the first time I was introduced to that information or that tone. And she shared that she was helping everybody open her heart. 2 days, I did an activation with her. I said that I wanted to do some work with her. She did an activation on me. And then 2 days later, I had this massive headache that I couldn't understand. And I called her, and she shared with me that she asked me, she said a certain name, the name of the person, and she said, "Do you know this person? Do you know a person with this name?" And I said, "Yes." I was a little even triggered because I didn't understand what she was saying. But she was saying that his higher self came to her and through channeling said that he's my twin flame, something like that. In different words, just like saying something, the flames of the heart, something like that. And I was really triggered. I was in my pain and that back then. We separated and I was really confused because I didn't know what twin flames meant. Like I've heard the name, I didn't understand what it was. I went back home and started researching and there's so much information online. If you just put the word twin flames, there's so much to it. And I remember that the first video that I put was called Twin Flame Separation Stage, and the first when I put it on, the song that started the whole thing was a song that this person used to play on the piano, and it reminded me of him. And I remember all my goosebumps like just everywhere, and I was like, "What is this? Like, what is going on?" And I would say that this sparked a journey for me. I've never shared this with him, actually, by the way. I've never told him. I always kept it to myself until I think a few months ago I shared finally something. I was able to express it. But I was so confused trying to understand what twin flame meant, right? There's like, I started doing research and it really, I always in the beginning, I thought it was about like the two people coming together. But what I've learned that that's like if that ever happens, which I'm not sure even if my experience was meant for that. I think it was just a catalyst to bring my gifts forward, which is this beautiful intuitive healing and the language and all this beautiful mystical things that are happening to me. That is the gift of the spark. But don't quote me. I really don't know. I'm humble on this journey, just like everyone else, and I'm learning. But what I've learned, and speaking to a lot of people I spoke to a lot of people that think that they're in the dynamic of a twin flame, and maybe they are, but they use it as an excuse to like obsess or think about another person in a very uncomfortable way or a way that's unhealthy for them. And what I'm here to say is through this journey, when I've learned that you take this energy and you take all this love that you have for one more person, for another person, whoever that is, and you bring it to yourself, and then you love yourself, that's when you start balancing your electrical system. It's the bringing all that energy and all that love and all that focus to teach yourself to really harness your energy in your body and love yourself. That's when your positive and negative within yourself is going to get balanced. And only when you have that balance, it's going to balance the earth. And also when we balance the earth, it's going to balance us. It's all a mirror. And I think it really all comes down to our self balance in order to help heal the earth.
Absolutely. And that leads us into the conversation for tonight. So well done there. That's the perfect segue into that. I love what you said, though, about transferring the outward looking love towards maybe unhealthy relationships back to ourselves, how important that is, not just in the self-love part and raising our own frequency and seeing the beauty and the perfect beauty in ourselves, but also in terms of balancing our polarities inside of ourselves. And we'll get into that here in the show. So two quick things, May. Your mic seems to be running hot. So do you have the ability to reduce the volume on your microphone, either to move it further away from your mouth? Because there's sometimes it crackles just a little bit. So
Wait, hang on. Because maybe my earring. Is this okay?
okay, I think it's
One,
better.
two, three, four. One, two, three, four.
Yeah, it cracks a little bit. So I think it's running hot. So do you have a volume on there that you can bring down?
Let me see. It's a new microphone. And it's, hang on.
Okay.
Whoops. Hang on, I
That's
touched it.
probably
Is it better?
if there's a volume on there, it's probably your the speaker volumes in your earbuds and not the microphone. So it's okay if you can't touch it. It's okay. It's not that bad. Hopefully, it's not that bad for the audience either. But I just hear some of it of a little bit of crackling. But it could be something to do with your energy as well, because I know when you're close to electrical devices, weird shit happens. Okay, so let's keep moving, folks. I wanted to share this with the audience too. When I was perusing your Facebook to get a picture to create that beautiful artwork we have for our series, I did also find a few pictures of your artwork and your expositions. So I wanted to share one of them. I was just scanning now while we were talking. Which one is this one? Do you remember where this was? And explain to the audience here what this work entails.
Actually, I can. If there wasn't that rug in the middle, I wouldn't know. But because I only use that once, I know it's in music festival. What is it called? World Music Festival in Nevada City, actually, where I live. It's like, yeah, um, that happens once a year here, and it's a really fun festival. I used to do, so I used to do. I still do it. I guess I just haven't done it because of COVID. But I lived in New Orleans for almost 4 years, and I was a photographer, still am a photographer, and that's how I started my career in art. And yeah, and then I evolved into digital art, and I print. I used to take big sheets of aluminum and I sandblast them, and then they go through printing. So actually, the background is a sanded texture, and then the printing goes on top. And so anything that, let's say, if you print on a white piece of paper, the ink, you don't have white ink in the printer. It uses the white paper. So if I print on a silver sheet of aluminum, it's going to use the background as a silver background, anything that is white. So if anything is white in the image, it's kind of like a glittery feeling to it because it's sanded. And yeah, I did that for 5 years,
Wow.
6 years, and I did really noteworthy festivals all over the country.
That's awesome. So when Ocean Odell was saying earlier that you're a very talented artist, this is just one of many examples, and the multifaceted examples here of May and her talent. Okay,
Thank you.
so moving along here to the next point on your list of topics for tonight is this balancing of the divine feminine and the divine masculine energy. So set that up for the audience here. Again, here maybe what you mean by that, and also how to achieve that.
Okay. Well, I made a list to be
Okay.
easy for me to tap into. I think I'm on that journey. I feel that this is definitely something that I've put most of my focus in the past years to really understand what is twin flames, what is the balance, what is masculine, what is feminine, and how do we harness that in ourselves? What does that actually look like? And how do you master that? And it's something that has been introduced to me through the Kundalini awakening, through the Kundalini energy teaching me without knowing at the time that that's what I've been taught. But I'm starting to realize and understand that the work that I've been doing and what I've accomplished and where I've reached with this energy is all about that. Clearing the vessel, clearing the chakras through different techniques that I'm going to talk about right now, and then bringing that balance between the plus and the minus, the masculine and feminine. Um, so the first thing that came through for me, because I was asking spirit today, what are exactly are the practices and words that I can share with people. So the first thing that came through is sexual balance, and this could be a fun homework for everyone. And I'm going to go into some teaching here. So self-practice of sexual practice, a self-practice would be the first way to, or one of the ways to harness your energy and also balance your polarities. So it's not a regular self-practice. What you would do is you would arouse yourself down there. I'm sure you know how to do that. And with our breath, it's a tantric breath, and you can practice this and master this at home. And then when you have a partner and you practice this together, it is incredible. But what you would start is you would arouse your body from your lower chakra, from your roots. That's where you can also start with, like, not even starting there. You can also just love your body, take some coconut oil and some music and some candles and incense, and really make some sacred space for yourself to give this practice self-love to yourself. And then on your yoga mat. You can do this during a yoga practice, by the way, just to open all your chakras, and your at home, not in a class. So yoga at home. So you do this at home on a yoga mat, and then you can just find a moment where you're feeling clear and the breath starts to come through. Arouse yourself down there, and what I want you to do is once you start to get into a mode where you're feeling the sexual energy arise, you start bringing it with your breath, just like it's, let's say if this is the root chakra and the energy is starting to arouse, you bring the breath, and with your breath, with your nose, you start bringing it up the chakras as far as you can go, and you hold the breath, and then you release it back to the root, right? And then keep doing that arousal, bringing it, the energy even higher. The idea is to bring it first to the heart. It's not very easy to do. You're going to have to learn how to master this. Once you bring the energy all the way to the heart, once you get there, you hold the breath. If you can hold the breath for 30 seconds, you're doing great. And if you do hold the breath for about 30 seconds to a minute, once you start practicing that, you can experience something called heartgasms. And that will, first of all, illuminate your heart and expand your heart. And I believe that our heart is electric. The plus and the minus, the masculine and feminine is both in our heart. And so it'll arouse that, and it will stimulate that, and will activate your heart. A level above that is if you can bring the energy through your chakras, through the heart, all the way to the crown, hold the breath there. That's the kingdom. If you can reach that spot, hold that, and let the energy come through the crown, that is enlightenment. It's hard to do. It's enlightenment. Maybe it's not the full enlightenment, but it's a sexual enlightenment. It can bring you to higher levels of consciousness for sure. That's a practice that I would recommend to try at least. You know, it takes time to get there. So, any questions?
Well, the first thing, some people in the chat, maybe who don't know this or who read things online, will say, well, that's very dangerous. You shouldn't be, messing with things you don't know, right? So I hear this all the time when we have these conversations. So let me be the voice of the people who would say, this is dangerous. You shouldn't be trying this. What would you say to these
Well,
people?
why is it dangerous?
I'm just saying, I can tell you a list of reasons why they say that, but it's neither here nor there. I'm just saying that because of all of these distortions in our religions and our schooling system, there's all of these fake paradigms attached to us unlocking the power of our kundalini. And one of them is that, when you're a kid, hey, don't masturbate, you're going to lose your eyesight, right? So that's one of those old wives' tales. Well, something similar to that. When you start activating your kundalini, we have all of these stories that would scare people into even trying that. So without getting into that and lowering our frequency to that level, maybe speak to the audience about why maybe those distortions are in place and how maybe they can overcome those distortions by getting into their heart center and really questioning whether or not this is for their highest good. Let's start there.
First, I'm feeling like a sense of compassion, and like I'm really feeling like in my heart for people that are scared to touch their own body or to give themselves a pleasure. I reach out to you, and if you need some guidance and some help with that, or just to feel more comfortable with your sexuality, you're welcome to talk to me or to schedule with me or something like that, because I feel like it is our birthright to love ourselves and to touch our body and to feel safe. And if something is happening and you don't feel safe, you just stop. Like I really feel like maybe if you're scared to even go into a self practice in that deep, start with loving yourself, just like gentle touches, and just start getting to know your body. Start getting to know your body. It's yours. It's nobody else's. It is yours, and it is safe for you to explore your sexuality and your body. And also, I hear a lot of like people getting into relationship, and women don't have orgasms because they've never given themselves pleasure. If a woman doesn't know how to give herself pleasure and she doesn't know how to reach an orgasm, don't expect a man to give it to you. That is like the number one. If you think that you're gonna go in a relationship and you're gonna have amazing sex and it's the guy's job to get you into an orgasm, no. You have to know your own body to tell him and to share with him what it is that you like, or navigate yourself in the sexual relationship, in the dance of, two bodies together, to bring yourself into the orgasm. So that's one thing. So about fear, I really think that it's hard, like we are conditioned to certain families and certain religions, and I'm aware that people are watching this from all over the world, but it's an invitation to explore your body without shame.
Hmm.
And if it has to go, if you have to do certain steps, not go all the way, just like giving yourself a little bit of love every day until you have that safety to feel safe, to explore yourself. It's a whole map. You're a map, and it's safe to do that. We're designed for so much beauty and light and energy and expansion. It's unbelievable.
Hmm.
And I think that a lot of society wanted to numb us because we're so powerful. And
Hmm.
so it's an invitation to go and explore when you're with yourself and see, where how much you can expand. It's actually a wonderful journey. So I hope
Absolutely.
that helps. I hope that helps.
That's an amazing answer. Thank you for that. So that deals with maybe some of the fear attached with some of these old programs and distortions relating to this particular topic. Now, Grandma Knows is asking another question here. She says, "What about those of us who have massive sexual abuse issues?" So this is another distortion in this program and the matrix that we live in. So speak to that a little bit also. How do they overcome that to start reactivating and reconnecting with their own energy source?
Self masturbation, I'm going to use that word, self sexual practice. We hold so much emotions, especially for a woman, in our yoni, in our sexual organs. Through self practice is where you're going to find emotional release. Crying, that abuse that you've been holding there is going to come out. And if it's really, really hard for you to go there, then yeah, maybe some help, some guidance, and somebody to be there as a doula for you to be with you there, to do that with you or to talk to you through it. I don't think we need to do everything alone, but as far as like what happens if somebody has sexual abuse, that energy, those feelings, those emotions, all those things are stored inside of our sexual organs, and the way they come out is through masturbation, through releasing the energy. It has to go out. Energy never disappears, it transforms. It needs to go somewhere. And if you're holding it inside, it's not going to serve your body, your organs, or yourself. You need to move it. Does that
Hmm.
make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, Maggie has a more technical question here, and it relates to some of these practices here to raise that energy even higher as opposed to externalizing the energy. And that could be a whole show in and of itself in some of these practices. But Maggie is saying, okay, so some spiritual teachers, where you talked about the yoginis, the Taoists, the Tantra masters, there are some practices of withholding the outward facing orgasm and rather to bring that inside. So, how does that relate to what you're talking about now? And let's not dive too much into that. Again, I know that's it could be a whole hour show. There's a lot there, but just briefly explain that for the audience.
Well, the way I was explaining is that when we bring the energy from the sacral, I was expressing how we're going to bring it up into the heart and up into the crown, and it's exactly that. We're harnessing it in our chakras, and that's where it gives us power. It gives us power in our heart. It gives us power with our creation. It's sexual energy is the biggest creation life force. It creates human life. It's the biggest creative energy that I'm familiar with. So the reason why people say that, the big yogis say that, is to hold the energy inside, to recycle that energy, to bring that energy in, to intensify our light, intensify our magic, pretty much.
Hmm.
You can do that on your own, like the thing that I just shared, to bring that energy to the heart, to have an heartgasm and just like bring that. It's not like you're releasing it. It's in a way you are, but not like you're in the heart. So it's like expanding your heart or in the crown. And if you're with the sexual partner, then you can do that together if he knows how to harness his breath. Very beautiful practice. Does that answer the question? I hope.
Yeah, that's very good. I think for now that's good. Again, this is a very complex topic, and some of the keywords here might get us in trouble with YouTube as well. So I think for
Okay.
now, I think that was a good answer. Okay, so one of the notes that you took here was the self practice. Now, did you want to add more notes to that before we move to the next point? Because somebody on the screen is saying also Shakti dancing is a very good way to raise this energy as well. So maybe that's in your list as well. So I'll just let you drive the ship here for a little bit.
Yeah, so I think that I covered the whole sexual balance thing for self-practice. The next thing that came through for me is the earth. When earth will balance her polarities, then humanity will experience the balance, collective meditations for balancing polarities on the earth.
Mhm.
So, like, how do we really shift the polarities and bring them back to balance here? So,
Mhm.
I'm wondering
Hey,
if
can
sex,
I pause you for just a second? Just a
yes,
second. So I'm sorry to apologize, but I want to read this comment before it comes off of my screen. My
yes.
community is just amazing, and Libby here is responding to Grandma Knows, and she's saying maybe try to turn that fear into excitement and joyous anticipation, the great mystery. I sense you're going to break free. The truth shall set us free. So thank you so much, Libby, for that.
Thank you,
Again, there's so
Libby.
much love in this chat and community support, and this is why people gravitate to these shows and this community here, because it's just absolutely amazing. And Libby is one shining example of that. So thank you, Libby. Okay, so sorry to interrupt you on that one, May. So let's get back here to the earth polarities, and that will also lead us into our activation for tonight.
Yeah, so the Earth. This has been coming strong in the past year about the polarities of the Earth, and I'm wondering, this is just a curiosity, I may just curious, if there's an enlightened woman and enlightened man that harness those energies of the polarities within themselves, if they can get together and bring their sexuality together to master their sexuality and actually put intention to balance the polarities of the earth. Something that I was wondering about. I thought that's probably possible, I think, because of the electrical system and because we are like little earthlings, right? We're just little Mother Earth walking around Earth. That's how I see it. Um, so, anyways, the what I received today was when the Earth will balance her polarities, then humanity will experience the balance. Collective meditations for balancing polarities on the Earth. And so, with that came through, I channeled a prayer for balancing the polarities. So you can go to maybe you can pull that up.
Yeah, so that's
And it
the
had instructions how to use it.
this one here. So hold on, this one here.
Yes, yes, I just posted it like right before the show. And it's a prayer for the polarities. And the instructions was this is a prayer to bring balance to the polarities of the earth. Place the symbol in the north end of your home and in the south end of your home. Say a prayer for the polarities on the earth to peacefully balance. As above, so below. May the balance of the earth bring balance to the human collective. Yeah, so I really do believe that it all starts with Pachamama and with intention and prayer, and that's where I'm going to do the activation today with the intention to bring polarity to the earth, bring the polarities of the earth back to balance. Yeah.
You caught me as I was coughing. Okay, very good. All right, so I have the link in the chat now, guys. So if you want to copy and paste that link into your browser and maybe set prayer so that you can print it out and follow the instructions here as to where to maybe place that in your home.
Yeah,
Um,
you have permission, you have full permission to print it.
okay, very good. And May, let's talk about this just before we started the show. And we were sharing here how we wanted to structure the interview tonight, and you mentioned this earth balancing. I'm like, oh my God, that is so needed right now. And I was just telling you how in the last couple of days, something feels off. Like there's a weird energy. I've been feeling it. Sarah's been feeling it today too. I was just kind of like, I need to go meditate by the water. I just felt that there's this weird energy. Can you speak to what you were also feeling in the last couple of days? And maybe a lot of the audience members here can also relate to this.
Totally feeling something. Like normally I'm really clear, and I know I've been doing a lot of work with a lot of people, and that's new to me. in the intensity. So I'm also like giving that respect, like, is this also affecting me? But
Mm.
normally, if I before a show or if I'm doing any kind of channeling, I'll get like a download, like, and it's so fast. And before the show today, I'm like trying to get this information through, and I sat there for maybe an hour, and I just keep feeling the energy of the Kundalini just like moving. This is all I feel. And like the words wouldn't come through as I was wondering. And that's like, okay, well, maybe I'm supposed to just do light language. Until finally the polarities. And I was wondering if that collective, if when you told me that you also felt like there's this kind of like, I don't know, feeling that we need a ground is because of that imbalance or, beats me. I don't really know. There's so many things going on in the world right now. But
Well,
maybe it also has to do with the imbalance in Mama Gaia, you know?
Well, let me add another piece to that. There appears to be some interference going on right now for humanity. It started a couple of weeks ago. Cliff High had reported that he was getting basically kind of like messages dropped into his consciousness that were not his own thoughts. And he was observing this. He's a longtime meditator. He's 70 years old. He's very conscious of his own consciousness, to put it that way. And so he was getting these messages dropped into his mind. He was like, who's putting those messages into my mind? And so at first he kind of like, maybe I'm just getting old. I didn't, he's trying to put that aside as a fluke. But then he started receiving emails from other psychic people who do this as a living, and like who are really like, for 30, 40 years being psychics, tarot readers. And they're also saying, oh my God, something's happening. We're getting something that's not our own here. Somebody's messing with us, so to speak here. And so Janine and I did a decode show on this the other day too. And we like, yeah, absolutely. There's something right now trying to interfere. And perhaps this is also what's causing some of your clients who have that haze right now. It's like there's an interference disconnecting us maybe from source in some cases, and in some other cases jamming us with who knows what frequencies and other people's thoughts here to make us confused. So there's all of this going on, and I see you reacting. So what are your thoughts to what I'm saying now?
I am reacting because, like, when I started channeling automatic writing, I got a lot of information coming through. Some of it was really true, and some of it was not. And it was mainly questions about like what's going on in the world, future stuff. It wasn't like when I scan someone's chakra field, I get like a really, really, really clear description. But when it comes to the future stuff, or when it comes to like things that are happening in the collective, there's just so much information out there, and there's so many energies, and it's really hard to discern. So what I've learned is to ask, who are you? So for me, I get my information through writing, automatic writing. So if I got information about something, an earthquake, let's just say, which this has happened. I got information of a clear earthquake. It's going to happen here. It's going to happen there. It just came through so fast. I was sure it was going to happen. It didn't happen. And then I was like, okay, why did that come through and where did it come from? So I started asking when I write, I ask, who is this? If it's a higher source, I would receive your higher self, or I would receive the spirit of the high. If it was someone that is something from a dark or bad place, my hand would scribble all over it, everything I would write. And then I would know that it's not coming from a pure place. And this is something that I've learned to work with all the time. You have to ask, who are you? Who is this? And that's the only way I can know like the information that's coming through. Now I want to say, when I'm channeling for someone specifically about their life, if it's something that's already happened or they want to know something about their life guidance, I normally get a clear answer. When it comes to like big global questions, what do I need to choose? What kind of cryptocurrency? That can change all the time because everything is always changing and shifting. Timelines are always changing. So I hope that helps clarify a little bit, maybe for people that are just starting to channel, because
Yeah.
that just asking, who are you? Who is this? Has changed the whole game for me. Yeah.
Right. And in the context of what we were saying too and what we were reading, asking the question also, are these my thoughts? And really listen to your heart for the answer. And you'll know right away whether they're your thoughts or not. So be
If
careful
you're
not to be duped.
if you're asking if they're your thoughts, they're probably not.
Probably
And
not.
if they're not your thoughts, you can just say, it's unacceptable. That's unacceptable. I cancel you. You're unacceptable. Be gone. You
Yeah.
you need to release them because if you're already questioning it, then it's probably not yours.
Right. But in some cases, and here's the thing, because of the level of franticness, the fear pumped out by mainstream media and all this stuff happening, a lot of people don't even have the time, because somebody just said here, now's the time to be present in the moment. A lot of people are not present in the moment because of all of this distraction right now. So it's easy for them to not realize that perhaps they're holding thoughts that are not their own. So who was making that? So first of all, Gigi, I was also getting those chills this afternoon. I called Sarah, and Sarah was also, yeah, it's a weird energy today. We couldn't put our finger on it. So you're tracking with me on that, Gigi. But who was it? This one here. The best practice for me right now is to be totally present in the moment. Chop wood, carry water. That old adage.
Exactly.
Absolutely. When
What
you're
I
in
wanted
that
to
moment,
say,
go ahead.
what I wanted to say is when you're in a moment where you're like, I don't know what I'm thinking, blah blah blah. Go smell a flower, right? Go smell a flower. Go look at a leaf on the floor and just look at nature. And go walk barefoot at nature and go hug a tree. It's simple things that can just bring you back. Nature is so important. So important. And the little thing of just going outside and smelling a flower and just like appreciating the little beauty of life can change. It's a life changer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Anyway, so I was guided to go by the river today. So this is me just after I did that video.
You
So
look like badass with those glasses.
thank you. Oh, it's just such a beautiful place and quiet place, and I go there to meditate. And I often do some these impromptu little live videos there and share my thoughts with the audience. And I did that this afternoon. It just felt that we needed to have this conversation with the audience today. So, and you're right on point with all of this stuff. Okay, man, holy shit, we're already 46 minutes into the show. Let's dive into now. I know it goes by so fast. Okay, let me bring back your artwork here for the prayer. Now, is this the one you want to use tonight to do the activation? Because there was another one you had sent me in the email. So let me know which one's which here.
Well, the other one is the twin flame energy. Let's show that later. That was I one time asked show me what my soul flame looks like, what that energy looks like through drawing, and then the other drawing came through, which is this. And we can go into that a little bit later if you want. If you want to start the activation, it's up to you, whatever you want to do. If you want to talk about this drawing, I thought this was a cool. When I said twin flames and show me like a drawing how it looks like, I never thought it was gonna be looking like this ever.
Wow.
It looks like a soul. It actually even has like it almost looks like a voodoo doll. It has like two eyes on the top, and then on the side it has on the left, well on the left side on the screen it has plus signs, and on the right side it has minus. And it almost like has like these. You see the circles on the top. The way I interpret that is past lives, or like maybe different dimensions. There's like just like I don't know, man. I look at it and there's so much to it. But what really got to me, it's like just you see how there's like you know how we mark time? There's like a few lines and you cross it out. I don't know what that's actually called in mathematics or anything like that. But on one side there's more than the other, and I was wondering if that's like more karma, more soul contract, more, you know, time spent on the earth as far as like a soul goes. So yeah, I just
Wow.
found it fascinating. And purple is the color of the divine.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. Sometimes I draw, like I say, it's like a channel information that comes through, and I'm just like, what is this? So I find it fascinating, and if I guess the twin flame idea would translate to something like this, because the idea in itself is like one soul divided to two, masculine and feminine, but it's actually you, because it's your one soul.
As I'm looking at this artwork right now, what came to me is for the audience members who are perhaps questioning what twin flame definition, or what's the definition of twin flame, or whether or not they're in that definition in their current life, maybe they should print this out and just focus on it, do a meditation. Wow, I'm just getting a huge ow in my ear. Like,
They're just
wow.
like, yes. I love that.
Wow, that was like really, really loud. Wow. Okay. So there you go, folks. If you have those questions, just print off this artwork, do your meditation on this. You'll be guided to your answer. Oh, wow. Okay. That was very powerful. I love
Just,
that, mate.
yeah, and pay attention that there's one soul there, and that's you. Like, I really feel that bring that back. Like, think about that as yourself with your positive and negative um, currents,
Hmm.
and just always bring it back to self. Always bring that idea back to self. That's where you're gonna find all the answers.
Hmm. Wow. Okay. And Valerie says, wow. Okay. She echoes my okay. Thank you, Valerie. Okay. Now, okay. For the remaining part of the show, let's get into this activation here for the Earth polarity balance. How much time do you need, May? And so guide me here as to when you want me to give you the 1 minute warning here for the audience.
I was feeling 15 minutes today. For some reason, I feel like the words want to come out, the activations want to come out with all the things that I'm feeling. I feel like I'll really just want to share more today. So
Okay.
15 minutes if we have.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so
Okay.
at the 14-minute mark, I'll let you know. And what do the audience members need? In our last episode, we asked them to do some homework, to maybe bring some crystals, to set up a grid for tonight. Let's get into that very briefly here before we start our activation.
Definitely, if you can bring two crystals and one put in one hand for the left to signify the feminine and one for the masculine, just hold them in your hands with the intention to balance yourself and the earth, and just hold those crystals in your hand. It doesn't matter what crystals, as long as the intention is there. If you have a quartz, I would go with the quartz. If you have a Lemurian crystal, even better. What else? If you have earphones, you'll hear the activation better, and it will actually vibrate in your body more. So if you can listen to the activation with headphones, don't worry if you don't have headphones, you can always rerun the show and, listen to it again. Um, and a candle. I always like having candles, sage. If you feel like there's something leaving your body from the light language, you can always just sage yourself. And be comfortable. Water, to drink water. Always good to drink water.
And I wanted to ask you this too. So EBZ is in Oz is reading my mind. What about using silver? A lot of
I don't.
people are tuning into the fact that silver is a very psychic metal. And so I'm going to have another future
How
show on that.
about we do an experiment? You hold the metal, because I don't know anything about it, truthfully. Take a silver.
Okay.
Maybe you can put gold in one hand and silver in the other hand, because that's also masculine and feminine, right? The sun and the moon. And maybe check that out and see if there's some balance going on there. Sounds super
Oh, that's
cool.
interesting. Okay. I have some gold flake pyramid here. Okay. So I have both. Okay. I'll do an experiment with you tonight. All right.
I like EVZ, his logo or whatever, his profile picture is really cute. Uh, oh
All
yeah,
right.
pyramid.
Yeah.
I'm also gonna get two Lumerian crystals that I have and I want to hold them, so I'll go get them real quick.
Okay. Very good. So, folks, in the meantime, um, get yourself comfortable. We're about to do this activation. And if you're new to these episodes where we do these live activations, we please ask you to reduce the chatter during the activation so as to not disturb the energy. So we're going to go quiet here for about 15 minutes, and then we'll come back to the show, and I'll let you know that the meditation is over and that the communication can start again. But this helps greatly May as she's trying to channel all of this information when there's a quiet in the room here, not just you guys understand what I mean. So please hold the chatter at a very minimum, if not at all. It does help us quite a bit. Okay, Claudette says, yes, GC, no problem. Okay, May, you ready to go?
Yes, yes, yes,
All
I
right.
am. All right, so I'm gonna do the meditation that we did last time, just a little bit, maybe a tiny bit different.
Okay.
All
Oh,
right,
wait, so you're doing a meditation first, and then we'll do the 15 minutes. So let me know. Well, I'll know when
no,
you start.
it'll
Okay.
be it'll be included. The meditation is gonna be like a
Okay,
minute or
gotcha.
two. It's included.
Okay, sounds good.
All right. So everybody, I hope you already have your crystals and your candle and your sage in a comfortable spot. And so just take a moment to find your comfortability and bring all your awareness. Let's all start with our hands on our heart, just bringing our awareness to our body, feeling our heart. Let's visualize light filling our heart, filling every molecule and every vein, all the blood cells with light. Take a deep breath from the heart from that light, bringing the breath all the way to the crown and holding the breath for 3, 2, 1. And releasing through your mouth with sound, anchoring your being into the present moment. Letting go of all the day and all the stresses. Taking another deep breath from your heart. Bringing the light all the way up through your third eye, all the way up to the crown, and squeezing your stomach and the breath for 3, 2, 1. And release with sound, allowing yourself to let go. And with our next inhale, we inhale an intention from our heart, bringing that intention through our third eye, expanding our psychic abilities all the way up to our crown, setting intention to set balance for the polarities of the earth and within our bodies and our energy field. Holding that intention for 3, 2, 1. This time you release the breath through your nose, bringing the breath back to the heart, sending that light and that breath through your tummy, through your hips, sending the breath through your legs and your knees, all the way down to your feet. I want you to bring awareness to both of your feet, right and left. Feeling both of them separately, the right foot and the left foot. I want you to imagine each foot expanding with light, with love, with that intention. And imagine roots growing out of each foot, one to the right and one to the left. The roots are growing in separate directions, intertwining in the room, circling the room together, till they both find a crack in the floor of your room. And they stretch through the crack, all the way down to the cement of the earth, poking 2 holes, one for the left, one for the right, stretching inwards into Mama Gaia, into Mother Earth. Both roots expanding and going deeper and deeper. Pay attention to the temperature of the soil, starting cold, absorbing information from crystals, absorbing nutrients from the soil. The roots keep expanding and growing deeper into the earth. The temperature becoming warmer, the pressure is becoming tighter. The energy continues to absorb into each root individually, the left and the right. And as the roots keep growing into the earth, the right root expands into one to the north of the earth, all the way up north, in the center north. And the left root growing deeper and deeper into the south, center of the earth. The roots keep growing deeper all the way to the core, and they intertwine, and they stretch, and they make their way back up, absorbing Mother Earth's wisdom, her infinite knowledge. Her ancient wisdom, all soaking up into the roots. The roots are absorbing that knowledge, her love, her stability. That energy rises in each root individually, all the way, traveling all the way back up to the surface of the earth. And then all the way back up to each foot individually, charging your foot. The electrical currents that she picked up from the south and the north. Bringing that energy through the legs, illuminating every cell and every molecule, through your knees, your thighs, your root. Imagine the root chakra with the lotus flower and both electrical currents illuminate the lotus flower, activating both masculine and feminine hemispheres. Bringing the energy through the roots, activating your stability with the earth. Bringing the energy to the sacral chakra, activating your sacred sexuality, your sacred creativity. The energy continues to spiral, bringing all that stability and creativity to the solar plexus, inviting your power to activate the power that you are aware of and inviting the power that you are yet to discover, the power that is your birthright. As the energy rises, it spirals higher, reaching the heart. Imagine your heart expanding, becoming larger and larger with light, activating your soul's DNA, the codes that you are familiar with, and inviting new codes for your body and your soul to remember. The energy then continues to rise up to the throat chakra, activating your highest truth, your inner truth, the truth from the highest perspective to be shared today. Imagine the energy continuing to spiral up all the way to your third eye, illuminating your psychic abilities, activating the psychic abilities that you are aware of and familiar, and inviting psychic abilities that you are yet to discover to be activated tonight. Feel that. As the energy rises and spirals, it continues to rise to the crown. I want you to imagine the crown opening up with white light all the way up to source. You're activating your crown, your receptors to source, your antennas to the highest. Above your head, there is a bubble of white light. I want you to imagine both electrical currents in your body, activating your whole body, walking into that bubble of light. Turn around and close the door behind you. Look for a button and press it. I want you to imagine two electrical currents circling this bubble of white light. And you shoot up into the sky, faster and faster with the speed of light. You look beneath you, Earth is nothing but a tiny dot. You look above you, the sky is getting darker and darker. You're traveling through star constellations, burning suns, galaxies, Milky Ways. You keep going higher and higher. You'll see a white light followed by a dark light, another white light followed by a dark light, and in fact another white light followed by a dark light. You pass through them faster and faster, and you're going higher. And as you reach higher and higher, you will see a golden, glittery, shimmering light. You might see beings that you are familiar with, ascended masters and angels. This is the time to say hello. Maybe give a smile, share a grin, and you're going higher. And as you exit the fifth plane, you reach the sixth plane. You'll reach a jelly, thick substance with all the colors of the rainbow. You might see mathematic equations you've never seen before, geometric patterns, hear music and sounds you've never heard before, see colors you've never seen before, witness them, enjoy them, and you're going higher. And as you look above you, all you see is a white light. You expand into that white light. Your bubble stops. You look around you, and everything is glowing, iridescent white light. You click the button, and you walk outside your bubble. The bubble pops and dissolves behind you. You can look at both your hands, both electrical currents. Feel them, and your hands dissolve into one consciousness with the Creator of all that is. Welcome to the seventh plane. I call in angels of the north and angels of the south. I call in angels of the east and angels of the west. I call angels of the earth and angels of the heavens to come circulate in a sphere around our vortex. May you weave your light between every one of us now and protect us and shield us from anything that is less than love. I call in Archangel Michael to come shield that white sphere with your blue light and weave your blue light around the white light into a blue sphere and triple that layer. I command that no lower frequency, being, or entity enter through us, above us, around us, or below us. It is done, it is done, it is done. I command that all energy being transmuted and released may be brought back to source, back to peace, back to complete wellness through all time, space, continuum, and multi-dimensional. Creator of all that is, I command to activate through my vessel an activation to bring the polarities of the earth back to balance, to bring our electrical currents in our bodies back to balance through the next 15 to 10 minutes. easily and effortlessly with no healing crisis. It is done, it is done, it is done. Toya ianana hiataka iana ianana sua. Tuyana yana hiana hoa wahiana. Toya yahiana suya taya yahana uwawa yana. Hoya yahiana na tuya tayana iiana na sua. Hoa wahiana na suya tayana hihiana na. Toya ya ya hiya ya. Toya ya ya hiya ya hiya ya. Toya ya ya hiya ya hiya ya.
Hoya ya hiana hiana suyata yana hiana na. Hoka hiana huwa hiata kuyata yana iana na suwa. Hoya ya hiana na tuyata yana iana na suwa. Hoka hiata kuwa yana hiana na suwa. Tumiana na uyata yana iana na suyata yana iana na suyata yana iana na. Hoya na iana na suyata yana iana na suyata yana iana na wawa iana iana na. Toyana iana na iata suwa iana na tuyata iana na suwa yana yana iana na yana suyata iana na suyata Toma tata suya tayana I nana suya tayana I nana suya tayana I toya ya hi ya ya toya ya hi ya 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 tum tum Rianana siatata kuyata yana iyanana suahiatata kahiata suyata yana iyanana uyata yana iyanana. Hiana hiana huwawa hiata hiana. Tuka hiana nasu yata hiana nawa. Tuka ka hiana hiana. Tuka hiana siata taka hiana 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 na huwawa. Tuku hiana hiana nasu yata ya hiana. Tukua hiata ta hiata yata hiana. Toyana ia yata ia tata sua yata ta ia tata sua a ia nana owawa ia nana sua tu yata yana ia nana sua tayana ia nana sua ku yata taka yana yama ia nana sua tayana ia nana tu ko ka yata ka sua tayana ia nana sua tu mirna yana ia nana sua yana yana.
1 minute remains.
Tayana iana suya taka iana uwawa iana natuya iana iana nasua iana nasua iana. Everybody is welcome to put their hands back on their heart, bringing all the awareness back to the heart. Imagine yourself strapping yourself to a parachute in the 7th plane and hopping back down to this earth, 3D, 5D consciousness realms. All the light codes and the downloads from the light be integrated easily and effortlessly with no healing crisis for the earth and for each and every one of you. Thank you so much. Put your hands in prayer in front of your heart, thanking yourselves, bowing to yourselves, saying thank you for being here, for showing up, for doing your work, for being here. Saying gratitude to yourself, putting your hands in prayer in front of your third eye, saying gratitude to Spirit and Creator for being here today for this activation. Bringing the prayer back to your heart. And slowly, gently coming back, opening your eyes. Hello.
Hello, hello. How are you, May?
Sweaty and hot. Very hot, very sweaty, can you tell?
A lot of energy tonight, that's for sure. I thought our last meditation was off the chart. This one is even, it's hard to describe. And there's 2 people in the chat so far that said they coughed something up during your meditation. So one of them is Ben, and the other one I think was Sherry. Yeah, Sherry.
Sage, 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 snap, 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 sage, 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 sage. Light a candle and sage your space. And whatever came out, you can like command it to leave with love back to Creator if you feel like it's an energy that's not your own.
Ben says it was like coughing out a balloon.
Woo! That's interesting. Thanks, Ben, for sharing.
Gigi says, wow, that was amazing. I had a weird experience also, but I'm going to leave it for you and I after the show. And maybe, yes, maybe we'll discuss it next week, but I want to run it by you first.
You're making everyone curious here. Everyone.
AJ says, awesome meditation. Thank you. Thank you for the experience. Bill says, wonderful. Maria says, my palms are so sweaty. Livy, yes, absolutely. Love you too. Yeah, incredible. Wow. Okay. So, folks, in the chat right now, let us know what you felt. So, in some cases here, we have people reporting that something came out. So, I want to hear what you felt. What energies, sounds, feelings, emotions. Let us know, and we'll try to share here collectively. And for you, May, how was this meditation for you? I know that when we do these group meditations, it kind of like it acts as an antenna, as a power booster for what you do. So explain to the audience maybe what were you feeling tonight, and if there's anything different from the last week also.
I felt like Mother Earth energy, very grounded in the activation, as opposed to like the rain activation that I did. I felt very out there. Was that last week? No, last week we did. I don't
Or 2 weeks ago.
remember. Oh, we did the crown, and I felt very out there. I felt like because we're going, opening the portals to the crown, but now because we're working with earth energy and polarities, I felt very centered and grounded actually. And I really felt that when I did the meditation with the electrical currents and the positive and the negative with both roots, I really felt both of them working through me as I was going up to the higher realms, and that was fascinating. I really really was fascinated by it. I felt goosebumps like spiraling up, and I'm actually feeling very grounded and centered right now.
Okay, hold on a second here. I'm not the only one here. So Alex is saying also, we can barely hear you. Once you, at the end of your meditation, I think maybe the batteries in your microphone or your headphones are going down. Can you maybe switch back to the, actually now it's better.
Is it better?
Now it's better. Okay, now we can hear you.
Maybe because it's a 16-hour microphone. It should work.
No, it was like we were hearing an air conditioner in the back and we could hear you speak, but now you're perfectly clear. Okay.
Can I hear the activation?
No, it was pretty good during the activation. It was just towards the end, you probably just moved and then I couldn't hear you anymore. Okay.
Oh, okay. Good.
Okay, now you're perfect. Okay, keep going. Sorry for the interruption.
Oh, where were we? Felt very grounded and very, very centered, very grounded. That's where we were. Yeah.
A lot of people here are reporting heat, lots of heat, lots of energy.
Me too.
Activation of the third eye. Kundalini also activation. I think someone who was that?
Did anybody feel like both electrical currents or very grounded energy with the activation, or feel during the meditation two energies going through? I'm really curious about that.
Okay, that's interesting. So folks, if you have an answer to that, please put it in the chat. Again, mine was, I'll talk to you after the show. Yeah, it was really okay. I felt that. Okay, so Libby says yes to the two currents. Maria, yep. The electrical current give me chills up the spine. Yeah, okay. So Maria's talking closer to what I was talking about too. So okay, that makes a lot of sense. Somebody else said something about their feet going into the earth. I think it was who was that? That happens a lot during the first part in your meditation when you're growing the roots. A lot of people are feeling that.
Amazing.
Okay, and a burp, Maria. Okay, so a lot of people have. Yeah.
I also had a burp.
Gigi says Kundalini is still buzzing at the crown. Yeah, that's a big one for sure.
Good.
Thank you. Very relaxing and empowering, says Mike. Wow. Okay. Man, that was crazy. Oh, come on, JC. No, I don't want to embarrass May. I'll put it that way. So that's why I want to run it by her first. We'll see. Maybe next week.
Oh, come on. Maybe next. Oh, I'm also curious. Dana, I'm also curious.
I never do aha got you moments on my show, and I'm not about to start. I want my guests to feel always comfortable and at ease. And when I'm not certain about something, I hold back and I say it off air, and then usually, we come back together, and if we're all comfortable, we come back to the audience with that. But anyways, so guys, just bear with me. Just being respectful. Okay, pressure in the ears, Maggie. Okay, yeah. Mm-hmm.
I also have pressure in my right ear, actually. That normally doesn't happen to me, and I almost felt like my ear was about to pop. So that was really interesting.
Wow.
Thanks, Maggie, for bringing that up.
Yeah, absolutely. And Velvet Williamson, I became vibration, no body. Very cool. Yeah. When you're toning, a lot of weird shit happens. And the more, and okay, so listen, I'm still operating the controls here, so I'm not 100% into the meditation like the audience members can be. Like, I still have to manage the show while you're doing this. But still, for me too, that toning, I assume if I went back and listened to this episode again with headphones to what you're saying here, or how that just vibrates through the core of your bones, absolutely. I feel it through the screen, even though I'm busy, but I can just imagine here putting 100% attention to this, how absolutely powerful that is.
I wonder if anybody would be open on a full moon to do an hour activation on live. I would be totally up for that. It would be
I'm
beautiful.
open. Anytime you want to do a show on that, let's do it.
That would be amazing. Like, amazing to do an hour on full moon when the energies are really, really high, with setting an intention for something like this could be so life-changing.
Could you imagine too if I could get a feed from a live moonshot somewhere and put that on the screen also?
Wow. Amazing.
Yeah, that would be cool. All right. Yeah, everybody's saying, yes, me, yes, we're open. Okay. It'll be $100 per ticket, folks. No, I'm just kidding. No. Absolutely not. This is one of those things that, we can do together, and there's no censorship here, at least on that level so far. So yeah, that'd be cool. All right, May, holy shit, man. Time flies. We're already an hour and a half into this. First of all, you talked about those healing sessions tonight. Quite a few people were saying here they've already booked with you. They're excited to have their booking session. For the people who might be contemplating that right now, do you have a coupon code for them for this session now?
Yes, it's going to be BeyondMystic, same thing. It's going to give 10% off, and I'm going to I think it's still activated, I'm pretty sure, but if it's not, I'm going to go on there today and I'm going to activate it. It's BeyondMystic, all capital letters.
Okay.
And that will activate 10% off. Can you show my services? Because I added some stuff there. I just want to show you. Cool. So an intuitive healing session, we have there an hour and 45 minutes. And then I do channeling for 4 questions, 8 questions. That was there before too. And I added theta healing specifically to do theta healing sessions. Guys, theta healing has changed my life completely. It is one of the most activating, life-changing techniques, because it goes through your DNA, through your conditioning, through your limiting beliefs and your core beliefs, and just, it's like an energetic surgery, and you put new downloads. It's just a beautiful, beautiful practice and technique to really bring you into complete healing. I love it so much. I really can't recommend it enough. And light language group activations. If you have an event, or we can do this on Zoom, or you can actually hire my services to come to do a group activation up to 50 people. If you wanted to do something as an event, a wedding, any kind of gathering, then you can definitely hire me to do that as well. So those are 2 new things that I added on my site. And I'm also going to do channel tattoos because I draw and I can actually set intention with what I'm drawing. I'm going to add that in the next week to hire my services to do personalized tattoos for anyone who's interested.
Wow, that's amazing. I could just imagine having a light language activation at a wedding. So I could just wow, could you imagine the frequency of that? Like, talk
Amazing.
about two souls coming together, and then all of this dynamic of sounds and like crazy energies.
With intention for unity and love. It's amazing. Yeah.
And imagine that, add to that a wedding, a locality wedding on a sacred site, like something really cool that has like on a ley line somewhere on a mountain, old monuments or something. Like, oh my God, guys. Okay, so May and JC are going to create this new wedding destination activation channel here. We'll be doing some traveling to go marry you guys. Can you imagine? That'd be crazy. Jim says, wow, JC. Yeah, you're just having fun. Okay, I would love a tattoo, a channel tattoo. Yeah, that's awesome too. When you do your Reiki courses and all the different modalities like this, you download a symbol. Oh, go ahead.
If you go to my Instagram, I already channeled 2 tattoos for 2 people I want you to see. If you scroll down, go slow, a little bit faster. You're going to see it's a black background. More. Closer. And stop. Those 2 are 2 channeled tattoos on the bottom. Nope, bottom, black Yep, those two. You can open them if you would like to share that. And they are designed, that was specifically for a person. She said she is a shaman and she wanted it to activate her wisdom. And she chose both of them, actually. I did both of them for her. So, yeah. That's kind of like a sample of what it looks like.
Wow, that's awesome. I love it.
Thank
Libby
you.
says, I planned 5,000 weddings in 5 years. That's a lot of weddings, Libby. I gotta tell you, we used to do about 300 weddings a year at corporate
Wow.
events. I used to do this. So 5,000 is a lot of wedding. Like, that's crazy. Man, okay. The wedding planner extraordinaire. So Libby, so May, if we need a wedding planner for our wedding activation,
You could just add that. New thing in town is for light language activations for weddings to bring the groom and the wife, the bride to be, into complete harmony and unity. New thing.
Man, that would be amazing. Wow, they are incredible. May, yes, speaking about these tattoos, they are beautiful. Claudette Leblanc, I believe it was Claudette who said her feet were going through the ground. At least she was feeling that during the meditation earlier. So that's awesome. Wow. All right. Okay, May, crazy week ahead of us here. There's a lot of energies hitting us and a lot of maybe distractions also hitting us. What would be your last words of wisdom here for the audience tonight before we leave them?
Just
too long.
Ground.
Too long.
Ground in nature. Like if you're really feeling that fogginess or not connected, you just can go. I know it's silly, but like go hug a tree, go smell a flower, drink a lot of water. And actually, I've been receiving for a lot of clients to get a big sheet of copper and put it underneath the bed. The copper is a very grounding material, and you can put it when you're sleeping underneath your bed. And you can also, if you're sitting and doing something, you can put a little sheet of copper underneath your feet, and just if you're feeling ungrounded or anything like that. Yeah, and go enjoy self-practice. That's your homework. With your breath, with the breath. It's fun homework with May.
I was going to say for your homework, please don't send me any pictures. It's okay. We could just talk about it in the next show.
Please, oh yeah, God. It's a personal session. We don't need to see all the details, you know.
Right. It's a personal self-care practice. Yes. All right, guys, go check out these latest artworks here from May. You can find them at Light Scribe Art on Instagram. The links are in the description box below. And of course, if you want to book a healing session with May, you can do so at deepintuitivehealing.com. Again, the links are in the description box below. And the coupon code for the Beyond Mystic audience is, of course, Beyond Mystic in one word. So that was our second intuitive healing session here on YouTube, and we can't wait for the third, probably in 2 weeks from now.
It was the fourth. This was our fourth show.
This is the fourth show. Yes, it's the fourth show, but it's the second of this particular series.
Oh, correct.
Okay. So, but yes, it's the fourth iteration of the May Levy experience here on YouTube. We can say it that way. So stay tuned for iteration number 5 or intuitive healing number 3 coming up in 2 weeks from now or so. So May and I will chat after the show and we'll put the posters back up for you guys. So please, guys, send us a lot of love in the chat. Let us know what you think of this episode and maybe what type of activation we should do for our next session. Let us know. And May and I will read those comments, and we love the participation as always. So please remember, guys, to like, share, and subscribe here on my third backup channel. Third time's a charm. And I'm trying to find the poster, of course, here as I'm going live. And yeah, we'll see you soon. I love you guys. Have a great weekend and take care. Au revoir.
Bye. Bye. Thank you.